And then we have one of the writers of the show, Chris McKenna. He plays Ben Chang, Dr. Kendrick K. Jong. The man who created all of this madness, Dan Harmon.
Move it!
And we got one more writer of the show, story editor Steve Vazzolone. First of all, guys, obviously you all know, Community just came back this past Thursday to some pretty awesome numbers. I don't want to bore you with all the stats, but I'll just say that it was the highest the series has ever gotten on Thursday nights at 8 and adults 18 to 30. Season high in total viewers, and it beat a little show called American Idol. You guys feel like ready to conquer the universe now?
Yeah, I think so. I think we hit a tipping point. We just have to. There's like a Big Bang Theory. Obviously, just has those extra 12 million people that I think they can be gotten.
Here it comes. Here it comes. I've been ridiculed for doing this, saying thank you, because Dan Harmon's broken his side. But I want you guys to know that it's by no small, it's no small thing that you guys did with the felt goatees and the flash mobs and the hashtags and the drawings, the comics. We feel how much you guys love this show. We feel how much you care for us and we care for you back. And we just want to say, the fact that you guys walked away from your computers and watched us live and got us those numbers is massive. So if you guys can just keep doing that every Thursday at 8, we really don't care. So that's really, thank you very much. We really are humbled by how much you guys love us, and thank you for coming out today.
I think one of the most important things that you guys probably did, in my theory anyway, because it's not like we all have Nielsen boxes, I think the important thing that probably happened over the hiatus was a combination of those episodes being available on Hulu and you guys telling your friends who were on the fence, who were sick of hearing you talk about Community at parties. This is that show. It got pulled off the air. Now is a good time to get caught up on it, and you spread that infection, and we came back with an extra million people. I hope that that's what happened, because that's the thing that we can keep going. You guys can keep doing that. Be passionate about the show and tell your friends, because I don't want you to have to do more than that. This isn't. It shouldn't have to be a job for you. You should be able to be a billboard for the show by enjoying it and having a big smile on your face and going, "I love Community." That should be the end of your job. But thanks, Dad. More paintball? Season 4 will.
Noted.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of a show that I think this audience is pretty familiar with, Chuck. And that show had a certain relationship with a certain sandwich company. Has the baton been passed? Is this, we going forward, will we do more Community?
They came to us. Subway, they're out there. They're pretty liberal and progressive about their product placement, and I've done a lot of successful integrated marketing and stuff before, so I'm not one of those writers that's afraid of it like ruining everything. But I have to have 100% control over that stuff, and so we just kept saying no to Subway, and then somebody finally said, well, what if we just gave you this amount of money and we didn't care what you did? And I was like, okay, well, that we can do. We can tell a story that way. It's not like we want to vilify our product placement, but we do need to tell a story with it, so in order for it to feel good. So that's what, so they were cool with it, and so we're excited about that. It was some extra scratch, and I think it's going to be fun.
Well, Gillian, Britta had sex with Subway. Is there any hope for this relationship to continue now that he's not Subway, or is that the last?
Well, I can something very dirty to him that I initiated and he did not consent to. So I think the relationship's probably over. But there's always hope down the line. Maybe I'll find him somewhere down the road.
And Yvette, you know, you've had this recent storyline with Shirley and Pierce, so will this continue, the two of them, this unlikely partnership going forward?
Yeah, Shirley and Pierce are kind of like oil and water, and I think it's kind of fun to see them together because I don't think she likes him very much. Does she like him very much?
Well, she's human, so no.
So, you know, I think they're going to go down the road to try to make Shirley's sandwiches a reality, but because this is, you know, Greendale and things don't always go as planned, there's a good chance that it will go awry in some way.
Now, Ken, I wanted to ask you, you know, Chang, poor Chang, he tried so hard to be a member of this group. At this point, you know, is there any hope, or is he just not even think there is hope, and so he's channeling his energy in another way?
I think he's just clinically and medically insane. And he is bringing wonderful wisp of paranoid schizophrenia to Greendale.
Now, this show has obviously become known for some very unusual, sort of risky, out-of-the-box episodes. I want to bring up one in particular this season, Remedial Chaos Theory.
Yeah!
This gentleman right here, Chris, you wrote that episode. How difficult is it to shape a 22-minute episode of TV into something like that with all the elements in there?
First off, I have to say that, you know, it's television, and, you know, we have a writing staff, and we all work, you know, it was Dan's idea. He came in, vomited up a bunch of ideas for it, and then we picked through the vomit, and anyway, but it was tough. It drove, you know, there was a group of us working on it, and we slowly went insane. I think you saw some of the pictures that Dan posted of the whiteboards that looked like it was right out of, you know, A Beautiful Mind. It was difficult, and but really, really rewarding in the end, particularly how people responded to it, because we just didn't know what people were going to think of this thing, because God knows we were shooting that thing on the set, and I think we all were wondering what the hell we were shooting in a certain way. I know the cast.
Well, I think it was as ambitious for us to shoot as it was for you guys to write, and we were shooting it up until I think the week before it aired in bits and pieces. So one time Yvette and I shot a scene at like 2 in the morning. Do you remember that? We were like 3 episodes ahead of it, and they were like, "Go put on those clothes and do that hair again, and go in there, and you're high, and she's got some pies." And so it was so exciting because it was so ambitious. And I remember Chris, we were at Comic-Con last year, and he was, yeah.
You guys like comic books?
And Chris was telling me at a party at Comic-Con, like, episode 303 is like the craziest thing we've ever attempted, which on our show really means something. And I think we were also proud of how it turned out, and thank you guys for responding to it and enjoying it.
How do you hone down that episode? Because I would imagine that, you know how you only got 22 minutes, you know, do you guys have a lot of extra scenes, a lot of extra time you have to cut on episodes like that? Or do you just know by the time you're shooting, okay, we've got to get down to these core elements?
Well, that one we actually had to air a week out of order precisely because we needed an extra week in the edit bay on it. That's why. I mean, a lot of the more hardcore fans are usually all too aware of when we shuffle the episode order, and I hate doing it because it confuses people. Now, once again, because of the hiatus, we're doing it again, by the way. It doesn't affect anything, but in next week's episode, just be prepared that they're going to be coming back into the study room going, "Hey, how was winter break?" And it was something that I hope you'll agree we had to do for political reasons. Like, I mean, just to keep the show that you love, like, to come back strong. The episode that you saw us come back with, it was like, that's the first time I ever did that for that reason. It was like let's just, we're coming back on the air, maybe we'll have a bunch of new viewers, let's really roll out the red carpet for them with a grounded episode that showcases the characters and doesn't confuse the hell out of them. So anyways, that's a bit of a tangent. If you guys view TV the way I do, then you get nervous when we shuffle the episode order. The timeline episode, was shifted by a week because Chris and I were sitting in the edit bay for an extra week going, this thing sucks. And obviously it didn't, but it's worrying that it does that causes you to put the extra work into something that makes it great.
All those great inners, all those the dice special effects, that was an idea that you came up with that I thought was a terrible idea at the time. And then I'm like, oh, we don't need to do that. It's we don't have to spoon feed it, but I think it actually became such a great, iconic, cool storytelling device in that episode, and that was part of the reason too. It was getting all those designs and special effects in that episode, and then covered brilliantly in ADR by one of your jokes, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one of the best first joke of the episode was that their apartment number is 303, which was supposed to match that it was episode 303, and so Annie and Britta arrived at the door and they wanted us to ADR, so they're just like, oh, we're here to turn off his apartment. And I saw the 303 come up and I never realized that was the first joke, and I thought it was so great, but now we're 304, and so I said something that addressed that in some way. How many people are there here today? It's so intimidating to talk to a crowd of people. Thank you for coming out, but it's very intimidating.
The show has also become known for excellent holiday episodes. And Steve, you wrote the most recent Christmas episode, Regional Holiday Music. At this point, is it a little intimidating because, Christmas episodes already the show has been delivering, and you feel that okay, what are we going to do? This one has to be something special here.
Yeah, well, I'm a big fan of both season 1 and season 2's Christmas episodes. The Claymation episode, I think, is pretty retardedly awesome.
Any retardedly awesome people in the audience?